All of us who are following the news and narratives understand that a recession is coming. Agreed. But the first question is it happening tomorrow? Are we dropping this month? No one actually get an understanding. But then you actually go into the market and you look for indicators and price movement and the market reaction, right? How the market as a whole is reacting. Because here, yes, Rahul is a great guy, a macro guy. We get clear thought process. Now we'll have different individuals with same reputation in the market. But then the market participants does not have the same thought process. Not everyone is well educated about the markets like these big guys. And then you see like the market is moving like it's up. The direction is changing. Even though we are not having a good time in the economy, we do see a lot of red flags in the economy. The market is saying, okay, I don't really care. And that's where, the disconnect between the markets and the real economy happens. So the real question here is, can the market go higher, especially for us in the crypto market and those who are holding XRP as a crypto asset? Can we really see upside, or are we really going for a capitulation? There is a lot of different talks about this in the market, but right now, if you are in the crypto market, you are looking for assets. Some of them are really starting to run up 30%, 20% a week, which is really not bad. And it is really holding on to those gains. It's not actually dropping back. Previously, what we used to see is a coin pumps 10, 20, 30%, then it drops heavily. Whereas here you can see one asset 100%, another 70%, another 40%. So if you understand where these are standing, whether that's breaking higher or just testing a resistance, now you are looking at massive opportunity. And this massive opportunity is going to open a window. What is that? That's going to be the altcoin market running higher. But you need to get the confirmation from the market itself. Say the stock market here, it's actually showing you that each time the MACD crosses higher, the price bounces. Great. And you follow all these, and here you are like, okay, the MACD is about to cross higher. But the price is not here at the support, it's here at the retest, making the resistance a new support. What does that mean? That really means an average of 15% move is still on the cards, which give you a clean narrative that you are making new highs. And if that's happening, that's going to be a surprise for the markets, because everyone and their brothers are looking for a recession right now. And the market can usually do something to the opposite side. So that does mean you can observe crypto market moving up. The markets, the risk on assets, when they start to go up, crypto is one of the most risk on assets. So if you are looking for risk, this is the place. But make sure your risk tolerance agrees with what you want, because your wants and needs can be different and the markets can behave irrationally. And that's where what we discussed last time on the short-term pattern right now is playing out. If you remember, we talked about Netflix as asset, risk on asset in the stock market, which is doing comparatively better than a lot of others, which has already doubled from its bottom. Not a lot of other big assets like that can claim that, right? You're going to look at different assets and you're seeing this. You're like, okay, we broke lower, we are retesting. Maybe we're going to fake out. Maybe we're going to get rejected. But then you're looking for the goal, the safe haven asset, to see like what people are doing. Now, we do have a pattern which is bearish, but we're trying to break to the upside. And if we confirm that and move further high on a daily, yeah, that's like gold is going back up. Now, all of this can be confusing at times, but look at how the market is evolving. It's actually trending to the downside. This is oil. So the demand is reducing 100%, that's sure. But how can this impact the crypto market in terms of the macro coming into the microeconomics? That's what we're going to break down today. Welcome to the scientific investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10 percentage. Yes, when we actually look at these, it does give us clarity about what's happening in the market and what's the possibility. But the time is unknown. And even I'll actually give you the idea that Fed pushing the rates higher with this CPI is not actually working well. So the thought process is clear. And then you go look at the market and you're like, credit card rates are at a high rate. What does that mean? Because when you're actually looking for these, people are using this and the rates are higher. So if they miss a payment, now that's coming back to bite you, right? So it's not only in one country, it's happening in different regions of the world. When people are more aligned to using that particular asset, credit card, and they use that money out of it, now that's a depreciating asset for you. You buy an iPhone with that, you buy anything with that, the value of that item goes down unless you're investing. And normally we don't use the credit card to invest. And that right now is soaring. The use of the credit cards is going higher. So the household debt is going high and the rates are climbing. So this can actually become a bad sign and reaching the top of the mountain as a cliff. Agreed, because on the other side, you're also seeing mortgages reaching trigger point. So this is one of the primary reasons why people are going for credit cards, because they have to actually manage their mortgages. House or their home is the last thing which people would give up. So they're going to try their max to do their mortgage payments by reducing anything possible on the other end, right? And that's what you are really observing here. They're trying to do this. But even at that point, with the rate going this high, a lot of that is reaching trigger point, and that's concerning. And it's not only in one region and in one bank, you are literally looking at all over. And this is like, different banks giving you the same idea about how things are evolving. So that's bad. But the question is, when the trigger points are being hit, is it like the liquidation comes on the next day? No, you get 3 months, you get 6 months depending upon the banks. So that's at least 3 to 6 months away. And as that happens, yes, it's going to be really, really bad for a lot of people. But the question is, when you zoom in on the dollar part of this, for the macro, there's a short term. This is a short term chart. Now, you broke higher, you retested, you bounced, but right now you're coming back to test that again, and you're at that point where you really don't know where you're going to break to the downside or to the upside. Now, that's a short term chart. So you will have to go on to a daily chart or a 3-day chart to see what's happening there. And you're like, okay, this broke higher. Now it is actually retesting. So if it actually bounces, the market will slow down. The risk on assets will slow down. Whereas if it actually breaks to the downside, now that opens more window, more room to the upside for these assets. And that's why when we look at this and say this is a retest and bounce, once we break through this level, that's the pure confirmation. Agreed. But look at the MACD. It's actually agreeing with a lot of different aspects which we have followed. Now we can actually go in and put in a RSI, say we'll actually make it to the black, so it's actually easily visible for us. It does show you that I'm breaking back up. Now for that, you can actually zoom in and look like what RSI is suggesting, and you can clearly see a pattern which is breaking to the upside. So that's on a daily, right? Now go on a weekly on the RSI and see where the RSI is, because it actually now gives you more clarity on what the market is doing. You broke higher, you retested, now you're bouncing. That's what the RSI is suggesting you. Yes, you did have a pattern, you did trend inside that, but right now you're breaking to the upside, retesting and moving. Now the price and the RSI agrees with that at a time when the MACD is in the positive zone. That's when you start to get momentum. Go back into the price action. Look at times when you started getting more momentum. You entered into that range, you got a confirmation, then you started moving higher, further higher. So before that, your momentum is lagging, but as soon as you enter this territory and start keeping momentum with the RSI, you start going higher. So the market does show you that there is still some room to the upside, and it's risky. It's not risk-free, it's a risk-on asset class. So it's going to be risky here. That means when you actually come back in the crypto market, now we are looking at different support ranges. Say for XRP, the 0.3, 0.33 range is going to be a huge support, after which the next one comes here. That can be scary for a lot of guys if you have leveraged trades on XRP. That can be painful if your stop loss is above this range. The market can come down, kick your position out, and then go back up. Look at this. It is clear. We've been moving through this. I'm repeating this again and again because that's the reality and it's not changing. It's now the past showing you where we are right now. So we are extrapolating what the future looks like from here. We trended below this. We broke that higher, retested this. And now we are in a decision point whether we are breaking to the downside or to the upside. Chances are we will break to the upside. Now, you go to the Bitcoin chart and you're like, okay, we are moving inside this pattern. Bitcoin has not yet broken to the upside like we really want to see. And it's showing you a bullish divergence. So on the positive side, you do have a bullish divergence. On the negative side, we have a resistance to break. Now that's on a 3-day chart. You just zoom out on a macro, you go into a weekly chart to reduce noise, and then you see this. We are breaking higher. This is happening right now. Now you can be a little bit conservative and say we are just there. We are just there. We do not have a confirmation whether we are breaking to the upside or not. But even at that point, you should understand that the RSI is pointing to the upside when the market is not giving you that narrative. So you do get the understanding there. Now you need to further use the same information to understand, okay, the same market gives me one idea with the price, and then the indicator suggests me that's possible. Now, MACD, is it actually agreeing with the price or is it actually moving like the RSI? It's more close to the RSI and the trend, but it did not yet reach on the positive note. So we still have room to reach there to get momentum. So RSI may break to the upside, price may have small volatility and then drop back to the support. So where is the support here? The support is here, which does mean the price can really drop back to these levels. So don't go into a panic mode, because we are going to bounce and the indicators do suggest that there can be short-term pain in some of these assets where you see a lot of other assets are moving higher. And recently we had a lot of breakout calls and you look at the market and you're like, okay, a week, these assets are grinding higher. So you are looking at various opportunities in the market breaking higher. Some of them are showing you 3x, some of them go up to 3 to 5x, 6x. That's the range which these assets are showing now. So if you enter into these assets and you make sure the volume is increasing on 4-hour to 8-hour basis, that's a good news. That means new money is coming into that asset and the price is trending higher. Now you really have an opportunity. So if you're looking for such opportunities, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Recently, that's a lot of assets. Now, yeah, it's 20,000 assets. So even if you get 5 assets, it's not a lot. But to get that 5 assets, you literally have to go through 100 to 200 assets and then find which of these are looking good. Because not a lot of them are looking good. Majority are showing you negative sentiment. So you need to filter them out. Then you will still get the average fluctuation. So if the market is moving 5x, you get that 5x. Now, coming back to the reality of what the entire market as a whole, the altcoin market is doing. We have not yet decided whether we are running to the upside, to the downside. We are still here at the bottom. We did not yet make a statement saying, okay, we are going to the upside. So we are trying to learn from the language of the market, right? The market is actually suggesting you that it can be painful. We understand that. We've been in this market for some time and we are still waiting for this to break higher. Similar to that of the Bitcoin chart, when you actually go on to a higher time frame structure, say we actually jump on to a weekly chart here. Like we saw here, that on a 3-day you suggest that you still have room, but on a weekly you're at the verge of a breakout. So now we come on to the altcoin market, and on a weekly chart we get this. Whether you're optimistic, whether you're conservative, you get to see that we broke higher. We are trying to bounce back up. So as soon as the RSI make this range a support, breaking this one is going to give you more upside. Yes, there is a lot of people giving you the negative narrative right now, but there is still some positivity in the market. Don't miss that one, because if it actually surprises you with a 5x, you should not be missing that. Now, not all assets are going to do that first, but you will get the signal from some of these assets that we are moving up. Imagine you put in $1,000 in an asset, it does 5x. Now you're putting that into 2 or 3 assets and they are doing 5x. So automatically the capital is increasing. 1, 2, now you have capital to invest in different assets. So the money increases and now you're diversifying into different assets. So the opportunities just go wild and your risk, you're reducing it. When you have 1K, you may actually take a lot of risk. But when you have 10, you may not take that. Similarly, when you have 100, you're going to take lesser range of risk. So if you are understanding that properly and you want more depth onto that for a lot of different assets, you can again look at the Patreon. So now we discussed through a lot of macro, and this does give you some idea that something bad is coming. It is coming. There is no doubt about that. But it can be after 3 months. It can be after 6 months. No one actually understands that. We are all trying to figure out when that can be, but no one actually knows. That's why when the majority is going negative and the market is showing some positive momentum, that can be tricky, right? But I'll say follow the money, follow the market, right? I can be wrong. Someone else can be wrong. Even this great human being can be wrong. But the market is never wrong, because the market moves like what it actually wants. Unless there is short-term news, World War III, whatever happening in a short term and moving. But you right now observe that the market is showing you one direction. Follow that direction. That's what you have to do. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have another 5 minutes, please do visit the new channel of mine where you can get value for your life. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.